Hey! It's UK Yankee doing a video here for BBQ. And I just thought it's COVID-19, isn't it? We're on week 4 of lockdown. And we're supposed to be in Tennessee right now. We're supposed to be eating some ribs right now. Anyway, so what I decided to do, I haven't made ribs ever, never barbecued ribs rather, ever. And I can't say that Neil has barbecued ribs either. We've done ribs, but in different ways. So today I'm going to try my hand at barbecuing some ribs, just to make Neil feel a little bit better about the fact that we're not in Tennessee. So I'm going to do a dry rub, but there are lots of different types of rubs. You can go Asian rubs, you can go Nashville rubs, you could go Memphis rubs. Apparently they're all different. You could get different rubs, like my family's from Texas, so their rubs would be nothing like a Nashville one. I'm just gonna do a brandy rub. I'm just gonna show you how easy it is to just sort of mix some of your favorite ingredients to make a rub for a rib. So I got these ribs from our local butcher. Got 2 racks of ribs. They were recommended. So I've done a little bit of research because, like I said, I've never done ribs before, and I was advised about what you need to look for before you do ribs. Top tip, do not ever wash your meat. I did do the COVID-20 hand wash, so my hands have been washed the appropriate amount of time.
COVID-20?
Well, yeah, I know it's COVID-19, but you have to wash your hands for 20 seconds, don't you?
Okay.
So a lot of people say, why do my ribs always turn out tough? Well, I found some research about this, and the reason why your ribs turn out tough is because the membrane has been left on the back of the ribs. So I'm going to take a look and see if we've got the membranes on this. Now, I've never removed the membrane off a rib before, but I have seen quite a few videos on how to do it. Let's see if I can get it right the first time. So the way you're supposed to tell if the membrane has been removed off is if it's shiny. So to me, this looks shiny, and also I can see that the membrane is here. Now, I've been told that you can use a knife, like just a butter knife, to pull it back. If you don't take this off, your ribs are going to be chewy, and that's because this tenses up the meat. So what everybody has said is to take a paper towel to remove it. So I'm going to give this a go. Sometimes there's an easy place to spot for where the membrane is. So I've got a bit of the membrane here. There we go.
Nice. Nice. That's a top tip, using a paper towel.
So you don't have to remove all of it, I've been told, just as long as you move. No, well, gotta do your research if you want to be a famous YouTuber.
Jesus.
So it can be quite difficult to find, but you can see the difference now, how that's quite shiny and that's a little bit more flat. It almost looks like it's just a little bit fattier. So I think I'm gonna have to use a butter knife to try and find this one, because it's not easily. So that is the membrane removed off of those ribs. So now they are good to get dry rubbed. All right. So I'm going to start now by making the dry rub. So I've got a little bowl there because you don't need a massive amount. Now your dry rubs can be, it depends on the type of ribs that you want. We want barbecue type ribs, so I'm going to be using some brown sugar for it. The darker the better, apparently. And I have got some dark brown sugar, so I'll be using that for part of my dry rub. I'll also be using some roasted garlic salt. I'll be using a little bit of mustard powder, definitely some cracked black pepper, and some chili flakes because I like my stuff spicy. So this is just the rub. I will be making a homemade barbecue sauce to put on top of these ribs as and when they're cooking, but this is just the rub for now. All right. So as I said, I'm not using any sort of recipes, but this will give you an idea of sort of how much I'm putting in. So I'll use a teaspoon if you want to get an idea of it. So like I said, this is dark brown sugar.
So 4 heaped.
4 heaped teaspoons there. Go with your traditional cracked black pepper.
Got a good whack at that.
Yep. Oops. Can't take the lid off. I find with chili flakes, it's nicer if you actually grind them instead of just putting the whole chili flakes in. But it depends on how you're using the chili flakes. Some garlic salt, a good couple pinches. It is, you know, almost 2 portions worth of meat there. Oops. Oopsies. And then this is English mustard powder. I'm sure you can get different levels of heat in regards to the mustard powder. I'm only going to start with a small bit because, to be honest with you, mustard powder isn't something that I've personally used a great deal of myself. So, and then just mix it up.
So there's a lot of sugar there.
There is a lot of sugar there, yeah, because you want the sweetness to soak into the meat if you're going for a barbecue type rib.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use my hands to mix it up a bit. You can already tell I'm probably going to need to put some more black pepper in here.
What about a bit more chili and mustard powder?
Potentially. I'm going to try it. I'm going to taste it first because there's nothing in here that is going to harm you if you eat it as it is. So just want to taste it after it's all been mixed up because you'll get the idea of the flavors. I mean, the brown sugar isn't going to stick out as much as you might think it is because the dry rub is mainly going to burn off anyway. So just to get a taste of it. Right, so now I'm getting ready to apply the dry rub, but before I do it, after tasting that a little bit more, I'm going to add a bit more chili flakes because I love it spicy. I especially love sweet and spicy ribs. I'm the kind of girl that used to have ribs from Tony Roma's, but now I live in the UK. It's not that many barbecue joints in the UK. So we've got to kind of do well with what we've got. So with a dry rub, it's very, very simple. You just sprinkle it on and then you'll start to pat it down. Okay, so welcome back. So I am now getting ready to actually do the barbecue. So it's recommended that you get your ribs as safely as possible to room temperature before you put them on the grill. You are to, I've read a lot of different sites and the best way to barbecue these types of ribs. So I've got obviously baby back pork ribs, if I didn't say that earlier, is for half an hour on each side on the low and slow method, which would be indirect heat, and then last 20 to 30 minutes right on the coals itself. Well, not directly on the coals, but over the coals. So I'm getting these up to room temperature. So taking the seal off the bag just to give you an idea. Sugar dissolves, so I'm not surprised to have a little bit of liquid in here.
Probably some meat juices too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely some meat juices. So I'm not going to take them out right now because I'm getting ready to make my barbecue sauce. But once I've taken them out, I'll put them in this pan and then smother them with the barbecue sauce. Now, to make barbecue, you can buy barbecue sauce dead easy. There's loads of them. I like to know what's going into my food, so I like to make it myself. The best way to start with the barbecue sauce is very similar to the ingredients that you used for the rub, except for the primary basis of barbecue sauce is tomato ketchup and brown sugar. What you add to it will make it your own. Some people add Jack Daniels to make a Jack Daniels barbecue sauce. You will still need salt, pepper, garlic, chili flakes to make it a bit more traditional. But I'm just going to kind of go with similar things that I did on the rub. So again, I'm not using measurements, just give yourself an idea. So what I'm trying to do is make enough barbecue sauce that I can smear some on the ribs on the first go, smear some more on the ribs when I turn them over 30 minutes later, and then smear some more on the ribs that just at the start of the 20 minutes and about 5 minutes before we come off, just to really get that stickiness of the barbecue sauce stuck to the ribs. I won't need any barbecue sauce afterwards, so give it a bit more.
So we're using ketchup as the base then?
Yeah, you can use any ketchup, to be honest with you. If you're the kind of person that prefers Heinz on your French fries, maybe go with the cheaper stuff, because with the rest of the stuff you mix into it, you won't really notice the difference.
Yeah.
But I know you're trying to test out our Marks and Spencer stuff, so
Yeah.
so I was saving it for you. So I'm going to start off with 2 spoons of brown sugar. Now, because I want to use garlic powder and the only salt that I have is salt that has got garlic powder, I'm actually going to season it with soy sauce instead of pepper. About 5 or 6 dashes of that. I like my garlic, so that was probably about...
I can see it's putting lots more in as we go. Almost, you know,
Yeah.
when you taste it up.
Some hot smoked paprika. Just because it can blend in, so I wanted to get... That was probably about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. This is something I've always wanted to try. It's quite easy to get this in the States, but very difficult to get in the UK. So I'm pleased that I actually get to try this on my first set of ribs. So this is chipotle chilies in adobo sauce. You'd think it was actually chilies in there, but it's not. It's just a sauce basically, but it's nice and thick and smoky, which will help. We have got some smoked chips, but I don't think when it comes to barbecue that you can have too much smoke.
It's smart, yeah, it smells lovely.
Yeah. So, gonna start off with probably 2 of those, just because I have no idea how strong or not that is. And then a dash of Lea & Perrins, which if you're American, we say Worcestershire sauce. And if you're English, you say Worcester sauce.
You've been here too long because you almost said it English there. Worcestershire.
So just give it a little bit of a mix up. You can see that it is pretty much that barbecue color, barbecue sauce. If you have a smell of it.
Yeah, it actually smells just like barbecue sauce already.
So I need some black pepper. I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste. Oh wow, it's got a nice bit of spice to it right there at the end, but still have a little bit of stickiness. Do you want to try it?
Yeah, go on, I'll have a little dip.
Anything you'd put in that? Obviously they're just as much your ribs as they are my ribs.
You know what? No. I know it sounds weird that you've kind of done it by look, but it tastes really good. I mean, I can't really say.
Yeah, as long as you've got the basis for
what more it needs.
It's
So
all.
what's the oil doing to this?
The oil's just going to give it a little bit of moisture, because it could, when it's on the grill, it could dry up quite. It could dry up, whereas this is going to give it a little bit
Keep
of
the meat soft as well, won't it?
Yeah, give it a little bit of fluidity in there. So
I think you've nailed it. I honestly don't think I'd change anything.
no, I'm quite happy with that as well. So, like I said, I'm now gonna wait until these, we've got the coals on the go. The coals probably gonna take another 15-20 minutes. The barbecue, when you're barbecuing for the first hour, needs to be anywhere between sort of 190 to 200 degrees Celsius.
Just bear in mind our barbecue's rubbish.
Yeah, our barbecue is rubbish, but we should be able to regulate it at 200 for an hour.
It should be.
It's just trying to get it back up, so that might be a bit of a car crash.
They might end up in the oven.
They might end up in the oven, but hopefully not, because this is our first go and we want success on the first time.
Right.
So yeah, that's it. It's that easy. So now I'm going to put the ribs on the barbecue. We've got a Chinese spare rib one, just to have something different, and just in case this didn't work out very well, because as I said, this is my first time doing ribs.
It's America versus China, right?
It is America versus China. One thing I should have said with the barbecue sauce, if you do want to put barbecue sauce on your ribs afterwards, then reserve some of that, maybe make a bit more than what I did, but make sure that you heat it up because it's much nicer when it's warm. Okay, so I'm going to glaze them while they're on the barbecue, and I'm going to start. There isn't a right or wrong way to put these on.
So away from the coals, yeah?
Away from the coals. And I've got to fit 3 racks on there, so. Okay, so now I'm going to put my barbecue glaze on. I've got one of these silicone brushes.
Yeah, good dollop.
I've made loads of it, so these will be lovely. And
Are we going to dab through the cooking process?
I'm only going to, because I don't want to disturb the temperature that we're having to try and regulate for the first hour. I'm not going to do it on the first hour, but I will definitely do it in the last 20 minutes to 30 minutes when you're putting it on the direct heat. Okay, so we'll come back when we do the flip. We're probably going to lose daylight for the final grilling of it, but if we can, we'll show you all of it. We'll definitely show you us eating it.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've been in for 30 minutes. So now it's time to flip them over. Oopsies. Oopsies. That one's, oh, sorry. That one's looking nice. These are the ones that we...
They're smelling nice. They were a bit closer to the coals, those ones, weren't they?
Yeah, so we're going to flip them closer. We're going to swap them around. In fact, I need to spin them. Skills.
Perfect.
Put that puppy back like that.
So what do you reckon, another 20 minutes like that?
Well, another 30 minutes.
Well, they seem to be cooking pretty quick. I'll leave it with you.
Yeah,
Whatever you think.
Put a bit more barbecue glaze on here. Anyway, so give that about, well, you can be the judge of it, but we're going to go somewhere between probably 20 and 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, we'll just do that to bring up the temperature.
Yeah, and then we'll come back and do a couple more glazes before we get to taste them. Looking pretty good, aren't they?
They're looking really good.
So now it's time to put them on the high grilling part, and they'll only take between 20 and 30 minutes. It really just depends on how you like, well, I say how you like your ribs. You should be able, if you've had enough ribs, you'll have an idea of whether they're done. To us, they already look pretty close to being done, but we just want to give them that last little bit of barbecue just in case. Yeah, yeah.
So you put them bone side down or meat
I'm
side
putting
down?
them bone side down because in case they are overcooked, or if they're getting close to it, there's actually more meat on the top than there is at the bottom. So I'm trying to keep the more meaty side moister by not exposing it to the direct heat.
Oh, it smells so good.
Oh, yeah. The times that we've had the smells coming from that barbecue is great. So we'll come back when we do the last coating. Okay, ribs are done. So those are the Chinese ones.
Looking good. Very good.
Really good. And these are
But
my
look at
homemade
those.
barbecue
I mean, look at
ribs.
them. But when you look at that, with that glaze.
Looks nice.
Oh.
It looks good. Right, so I'm my own worst critic. So taste testing is down to you.
Okay.
All right, so I'll cut you off a bit of a rib for you to have a taste test.
Start off getting.
Well, no, you got a whole rack of rib, but
I'm joking. God.
if you want to take a look, looks good.
That looks superb. Sticky, sweet, loads of smoke. Well, a little bit of char underneath as well. And even though we had our temperature wrong at the very beginning, I don't know how we did it, but we managed to save these because these are tender. Awesome.
Nice. Bit of bone. It sounded like bone to me.
Bit of bone there.
Right, do you want to have a try at the Chinese ones and...
No. Right. Okay. Alright. Well, that's the end bit. Do that for sparkle, just a little bit of fat. Okay.
Don't be biased now.
No, I'm not. Honestly, there's much more flavour in that because of the glaze. Much more. Whether it's the glaze or the rub, I'm not sure. But there's lots of flavour in this, but nowhere near, it's about half as much in this. And also, I'll tell you right now, there's the membrane. Which is okay. But you'd rather not have it, right?
Well, the membrane is meant to make the ribs tougher.
Yeah. Well, you're having to pull it off a bit more. And it's not rendered, it doesn't render down. You'd expect that to be rendered down.
No,
And it doesn't.
It's very similar
weirdly.
to sausage meat. Sausage that, you know, like the wrapping on a sausage, it can go quite papery if it's too hard.
I mean, it was the end rib as well. But
Right, so homemade barbecue versus store-bought Chinese.
gotta say, if it was me, you know, America's just not China out the park.
Of course they do.
They have.
With ribs, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at that glaze. You can see the richness of that glaze compared to that. There's just a richness there. And it's beautiful.
Okay.
But they're both, I can't wait to eat them both. I mean, they're both delicious. Don't get me wrong. Both delicious.
Ready to tuck into the rest of our food?
Yep.
Alright. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.